So this little girl's named Sarah. And interesting, she's got something that's a little unusual, but not totally unexpected. She came in with respiratory distress, battling to breathe, open mouth breathing, kind of like she's doing now. And we put a stethoscope on the heart, and we found the heart had two major problems. One, it was arrhythmic, so it was beating very fast and then slowing and fast and slowing. And two, it was very, very rapid. Many of you might have large breed dogs and you'd think of things like atrial fibrillation, etc. We did various things on the chicken. We ran an ECG. The ECG was actually run a little bit differently. We actually got a nice lead to seeing exactly what it's like, what the rate was like, etc. This chicken's getting an ECG going. We've got little leads. There's a little lead connected there. There's a little lead connected here. There's a little lead connected at the back. And what we're seeing on our lead, is a very rapid heart rate. It confirms my stethoscope heart rate of about 290. It's actually 292 at the moment. It's quite erratic. Those tiny little things are the heart rates. This heart, and it's jumping between 290 and 340, which is very high. This chicken's on two different drugs. It's on enalapril and pimobendan at pretty big doses. And we've got some improvement. The bird's alive. It seems to be sleeping better, breathing better. It's up at night. The next step might be a ultrasound, but we can't get as brilliant images as we do get in dogs and cats necessarily. But the ECG works absolutely beautifully. So I'm showing you a little ECG on a chicken with, I don't know if it's cardiomyopathy or just heart failure. Because if it's cardiomyopathy, potentially this is not the best treatment, but just to try and slow the heart. You know, we don't digitalize chickens, but maybe it's something that should be done at some stage. But just to show you, an ECG works really well. The chicken's very tolerant. We've stuck little stickers on, and an ECG in a chicken with heart failure seems to be great. We've used symptomatic treatment and there's been an incredible improvement. How long have we been going now? I think, do you know how long we've been going?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
So what we've done is the drugs are more experimental, at least than in humans. We're using dog and cat drugs, which I'll show you some of the drugs.
So is the mouth breathing due to the...
So the only way a chicken can pant or lose heat is by open mouth breathing. So what you're seeing is probably...
Chicken
we live in Melbourne, and today is actually quite warm. Don't judge by what I'm wearing. It's actually a beautiful day. So this chicken may be panting a little bit from the treatment. But those of you guys watching dogs and cats, and maybe a lot of humans, pimobendan is one of the biggest heart medications that we use. And we're using the same dose that we'd be using in a 20 kilo dog. This isn't a 20, it doesn't weigh 20 kilos. And we're using another product which is an ACE inhibitor, which you've all heard of. And we've got a really good response. So it's 4 weeks down the line. We're going to listen to the heart again. We're going to keep the meds going. And Andrew, are you happy with the results?
Yes, I am. She's improved. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a fat chicken?
Yeah. She's happy.
Yeah.
So,
she doesn't look 20 kilos.
So remember that when you go to the vet, and he wants to put a stethoscope on your chicken, he wants to do an ECG on the chicken, don't be surprised. I'll just share one anecdotal story that I got called by one of the abattoirs in Kilo. They were doing a certain type of ritual slaughter, and they wanted me to do ECGs on each animal after it had its after stunning. So what they did is they put some gas in, so the birds were sleepy before they would slaughter them, and I ECG'd each bird to see what they were like before slaughter. It was incredibly humane to watch the heart slow, very relaxed, and when they take it out...
They ECG'd each, what were they ECGing, sorry?
I was ECGing electrocardiogram each chicken when it came out of the stunning process, which the stunning process in this case was putting the chickens into a chamber and putting some anesthetic gas in. So they slowly became sleepy. And as they came out, I was ECGing. I really wanted to know if they were still alive. And it was just a really humane way of treating them. I think this has got nothing to do with heart failure in this chicken. But the point of the story is that ECGs are becoming more and more routine in abattoirs, in general practice. And we're able to give this chicken a quality life and improve it for as long as we can. The only hassle is you've got to know there's very few commercial drugs on the market to treat chickens with heart failure. We've got a really concerned owner, and it costs a lot of money. The same as it does, in fact, it costs identical to what it would cost to treat a dog on these things, a 20-kilo dog. So it could be $80 a month. It might be a little bit more than that.
What were the main symptoms you noticed that made you realise she was sick?
Panting.
It was panting.
And she was standing up gasping for air and craning her neck up. So
let's move this up. Let's take that.
Is there anything else they have to watch out for, Phil, like circulation issues or anything?
So the big thing is respiratory distress, the colour of the comb. This little thing is the comb. The comb can start going pale and even blue. But it's different. This is very different to the panting that you're seeing here.
She's got nice thick ankles.
So she weighs 3.33.
Yeah, that's not 20 kilos.
no.
Did he fat shame you?
And that's great. She was 3.2. She was 3.2 when she came in. Maybe we take away the push. She'll be that again. But she's doing really well. But the moral of the story is a chicken can get heart failure just like humans, just like other species. Now to listen to the heart a little bit better, we use an amplified type stethoscope. I use it when I want to get a little bit better. I'll tell you something interesting, guys. Watching, I'm going to now take a heart rate on this chicken. So you can actually, although the stethoscope gives a heart rate, when we take, this is how you take the heart rate of a chicken. If there's other vets watching, it's very tricky. You basically count every 8, and you note it, and then the owner will give you 20 seconds or 30 seconds. That's the only way you can do it. You can't count; it's usually too fast. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to give me 20 seconds, and in that time I'll count how many 8s. So each 8 heartbeats, I just count 1 to myself. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
So we're ready to start.
Start. Stop.
So there's about 16. So there's 16 times 8. It's a lot. That's 120, and that was 20 seconds. So the pulse is nearly 400. The pulse is much faster than it should be. So that's a very fast pulse. So even on the meds, I'm not happy that pulse is too fast. So I want you to know that even though we've got medication, I think the heart's not as stable as I'd like. The heart is faster than I'd like. If this was a human or dog, which we've never used digoxin, which is something that slows the heart and stops it. But we're going to continue on the meds you're going. I'm glad you think she's relatively back to normal. But I want you to know that heart disease generally is progressive. How old is Sarah?
She's 9.
She's 9. So remember, for those of you watching, chickens really get to this age. So she's geriatric. She's battling a bit. Remember, when summer's coming, we want to try and keep our birds cold. One of the biggest things that helps keeping them cold on those hot days is ice water. They hate drinking warm water. So it's worth keeping those ice cream tubs and putting some ice in them that you can put them out on those hot summer days. Misting's always a good idea, but for someone like Sarah, when we get those boiling summer days, which we're all looking forward to summer, she just have to come inside with air conditioning. But I think that heart disease is progressive. I want you to continue on the meds, on the doses we've given you. But I think I don't think we're going to have very long with the stuff. Because generally I'm hoping for months, but we don't know. We'll see how she goes. Okay.
Perfect.